Hello everyone, welcome to GoTarryn TV. This is Dr. T, PhD, the prodigy of sports psychology, and I am outside today for a change because I thought I'd take advantage of this beautiful weather we're having to interview a couple other people who are also guests here in Atlanta, Georgia. I'll tell you who they are here momentarily. But before I get to them, I'd like to ask everyone out there if you please be so kind as to like this video, leave us a comment, and share it with all of your friends and family out there. As I mentioned, I'm going to have two amazing guests right here to today's show, and in fact, they are my two favorite guests on GoTarryn TV. You've seen them here before, and we'll go ladies first. I'm going to be introducing Paula Castro back here on GoTarryn TV. She is our sports psychologist, mental performance coach, as well as Nathan Nowak of Trinity Fitness. He is the specialist with all the programs in health and fitness that he offers. And so today I'm going to ask them both to come on here to talk some goal setting, talk some New Year's resolutions, and how people can adjust and change to all of the craziness that are going on in our crazy world right now. So this should be a fun episode. I can't think of two better people to get their perspectives on this video blog because they are amazing. As I mentioned, they're the best and they are just simply incredible. So I can't wait to have them right here momentarily. We will have Paula Castro, Nathan Nowak for the very first time together in a three-way panel. And I'd like to also remind everyone out there with GoTarryn Health and Fitness, it's your time, it's your investment, it's your life. We'll be right back. You're both really good, and I thought it'd be awesome to have you both on. And so I guess we could just jump right into it. And just to start off with, I know this is the first time y'all are meeting each other, and I thought it'd be really cool to just kind of talk about New Year's goals and New Year's resolution, goal setting, and things of that nature. Since it is the start to the new year, so I'll go ahead and I guess kind of introduce us first. So. It looks like, Nathan, you're on the left today on my screen, so I'll start with you. It's Nathan Nowak, Trinity Fitness, regular frequent guest. And yes, Paula Castro on the other side there, and mental health performance coach. So both of you, I just wanted to say thank you for coming, and I appreciate you being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having us again.
Yeah. Well, I guess we could just jump right in. As I mentioned just a few seconds ago, Happy New Year, first of all, to you both. I hope you're both having a wonderful New Year, and everyone out there watching. We're going to kind of talk about goal setting today, and it's kind of appropriate from where we're at, but also wanted to talk about some of the current events that are going on and how that might affect people as far as changes and adjustments in lifestyle go. But I guess the first step, Paula, I'm going to start with you ladies first here. From the kind of mental performance side of it and the sports psychology side, people often have this attitude of, oh, it's January 1st or it's the first week of January, it's time to work out, it's time to exercise, it's time to lose weight. What's your philosophy in that in terms of, when you hear that? Because I'm sure you run into it all the time as well with your clients.
Yeah. Definitely. It's the classic New Year, new me. So,
That's true.
So for me, it really depends how you set your goal. If you don't set the right goal, then it's more like a dream. If you don't have an actual plan to follow it. I don't know if you guys are familiar with SMART goals.
Yeah.
So I think that's the most important, having a plan. So SMART goals, for the people that haven't heard of that before, it's specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. So when you set a goal, you want to make sure that you meet all that so that you actually have a plan to follow it. So specific is, setting something specific, not something broad, not something like, I'm going to lose weight. That's it. Because then you don't know how much weight. You got to have a goal weight. You got to know in how long you want to lose that much weight. So you really got to be specific in order for it to feel more real, and for you to be able to follow it better. The M of SMART is for measurable. Like I said, something that you can measure, right? If I just say I'm gonna start going to the gym, right? How can I measure that? How many times a week? how many weeks. So you need those details in order to have your New Year's resolution be successful. Then the attainable part is, not something crazy. It's something that it's hard enough to keep you motivated, but at the same time it's achievable, right? It's something that you can do. I'm not gonna say, all right, I'm gonna lose 100 pounds in 5 days. So um, and then relevant. That's from it comes from your end goal. What do you want to achieve? Your ultimate goal, and the SMART goal needs to take you closer to that ultimate goal. So it needs to be relevant for you, to get you to where you want to be. And then the last one, the T of SMART, is for time based. Like I say, you need to have a deadline. You need to know, okay, by when I want to achieve this. Because otherwise, okay, I'm gonna lose 30 pounds. Then I didn't specify if it's gonna be in a month, in a year, in 10 years. So it's kind of up in the air still if you don't set a deadline. So that's my thought for New Year's resolutions. To make it as specific as you can, and make it smart. Make it a smart goal.
Very good, Paula. A great way to actually, you explained that very smartly. And yeah, thank you. Nathan, jumping to you on that same
Yep.
note, I could definitely concur with Paula, how she
Yep.
laid that out for us. Great way to kind of just, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Same question to you. You hear that a lot, I'm sure, in the
Yep.
health fitness industry with, I'm going to do it January 1st. I'm going to do this. What's kind of your take on that when you hear that?
Well, it's funny that New Year's Eve, New Year's in general makes liars of us all. When we get to New Year's Eve, start drinking a little bit, you start thinking, forget 2021, New Year, 2022 is going to be my year. I'm going to do it. You start creating all of these big and obviously non-smart goals in your head, because nothing's going to change when the clock strikes 12. Nothing is going to change if you haven't changed. You're going to still be the person you were a minute ago. You have these great delusions of grandeur. Obviously, the champagne's probably kicking in by now. And then January 1st, you wake up, you got a little hangover, and you're like, oh, those goals I was thinking about. Well, I'm hungover today, so I'm going to sleep it off, and I'll get into it this week. And then all of a sudden, 3 or 4 days, now you're on January 5th, and you're like, well, you know what? January's starting off a little fast for me, so I'm going to take my time. I'm going to get comfortable, fill my shoes out, see how it's going, and then I'm going to ease into my goals. And then February, March, April go by. You haven't done anything. Now it's December again, and you have that same attitude as if you don't remember the last 15 years you've done the exact same thing, and you're not creating the right environment. And like Paula said, with SMART goals, you've got to have a very specific goal. Weight loss is not a good goal because it's just not. I mean, can you do it? Absolutely. But your why has got to be deeper than that. So if you're looking at your why, if you want to lose weight, if that's the overall goal, then look at maybe signing up for a race or figuring out something. Our motivations are internal, external, and social. And sometimes the internal motivation of losing weight is just not there because it's a nice to have, not a definitely need to have. So we've got to start taking actions like Paula said, that are going to be tangible. They're going to be realistic. It's attainable. She said 500 pounds in 5 days. I mean, that's pretty unrealistic. So you've got to be, specific about your goal. It's got to be measured, attainable, reachable. And then obviously you have to have a timeline. A lot of people will come in and say, hey, I want to lose 50 pounds. Well, by when? Oh, I don't care. Well, you're setting yourself up for failure because you've got to have something set in stone. And that's why, like I tell people, maybe set up, if athletics is something that you want to do, find a race that you want to do, find a triathlon, find a marathon, find an OCR, something that you want to do. So you're training specifically for that race. But one of the byproducts of that is the weight loss. So come up with something else and then habit stack on top of that.
Yeah, I like that too. That's great. Again, very well said, Nathan. And Paula, Nathan just mentioned something that I took a note of there, kind of quote, knowing your why. And you kind of hit on that when you were talking about the relevance of, trying to reach goals. Like, why are you doing this? What are you trying to achieve? And how are you going to get there? So kind of on that note, kind of piggybacking on that, how important is that, Paula, when you talk with your clients of, quote, knowing their why? Like, why are they doing this? Does that come into topic a lot, especially when you're working with sports athletes?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad Nathan mentioned it, because just like he said, you can't make up like an empty goal that it's just for the sake of it. Okay, I'm just gonna lose weight because everyone's doing it. No, right? You gotta have a reason, whether it's a health reason, whether it's sometimes an appearance, like a look. And I'm talking about gym wise, right? Which is the one of the most common goals for New Year's, right? I'm gonna hit the gym now, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, of course, in the gym, you can have a lot of different goals. I'm gonna build up some muscle. I'm gonna, you know, but the why is what motivates you. I'm glad you tapped into intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, because it's important that those are aligned. I mean, extrinsic. Just to give you an example for people that aren't very familiar with those definition, extrinsic is when your motivation comes from outside. So someone tells you, all right, I'm going to give you $100 if you go to the gym all the week, right? So that's an extrinsic motivation. You're doing it because of something external. But the intrinsic motivation comes from within. So that's kind of the motivation Nathan was talking about, that you need to have a why. Why do I want to do this? All right. Do I need to get is my health a concern right now, right? So did my doctor tell me my glucose levels are high? So now I'm gonna be able to set a goal that to meet that ultimate goal, a smart goal to meet an ultimate goal, which is, you know, lower my glucose levels because it's not healthy, right? So that's that's the most important thing, having a purpose of why am I doing this? Because otherwise it's just gonna fall. It's you're not gonna have enough motivation to finish it, to achieve that goal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very good, Paul.
and the other part of that too is the social aspect. I found, working with people with chronic illness, sometimes it's just not enough when the doctor says, hey, if you don't start changing what you're doing, you're going to die, right? Or something bad is going to happen. And sometimes, if you would think that that would be enough to change somebody, but it's not. So sometimes we need that social part. For instance, if you have a mom or a dad that has kids, now you're doing it for them. Because who's going to take care of them if you're not around? So if you lack the ability to make it internal or make it external, then make it social, which is part of your family, for doing it for an outside cause. Because sometimes if you do it for the greater good, then that is enough to keep you motivated. Because I had a client, she needed to lose about 150 pounds, and her motivation when she came in, a lot of times, and I'm sure Paula deals with this too, the why is not concrete when they come in. They have this idea, but you have to nail down. And we talk about like 7 layers of why, getting down to the subconscious level of why this is really important for you. And she came in and she had said, I'm doing this for my daughter because my daughter loves roller coasters. And the last time we went to Six Flags, I couldn't fit in the roller coaster. That's embarrassing. And but that was her why. It wasn't for her. It wasn't, it wasn't for an outside force, like somebody, like she said, sometimes motivation of money is not, I'll give you $100 if you go to the gym every day. Somebody will go to the gym twice, and then it's just not enough of a desire to go. But seeing the look on her daughter's face, feeling that embarrassment, was enough of a why to say, I'm going to lose this weight because I want to be around for my daughter. So sometimes you have to kind of stack that on top too. And that helps add for that why when you're in the muddy middle, things aren't going well, you see some failures, or you're not seeing a lot of progress like you did in the beginning. Knowing that why is something to fall back on when the going gets tough in the middle.
Wow,
yeah, what you just said. Sorry.
No, please, Paula. Yeah.
A lot of times you have that one moment of realization where you're like, oh, okay, I need to get on this. Right. So yeah. I don't know, maybe for weights, maybe I used to squat 200 pounds and then, I didn't do anything for 2 months and now I'm struggling with 100 and I'm like, oh my gosh, I really lost it. I really need to get back on track. So a lot of times you need to hit bottom in order to realize and to actually start making changes.
Yeah, definitely. It's
Yeah.
unfortunate that our society is reactive versus active.
Proactive,
We wait till we have to have the quadruple bypass. We wait till we have the diabetes. We wait till all of these things and then we start acting. But if we were just start acting, we would never get that far down into the disease. And it's unfortunate, but that's just the way most people are, is they wait till that day when the light switch flips to the other side. And now they're like, okay, now I got to do something. It's like, all right, we're behind the curve. It's going to take some time. But if your why is good enough, then the how doesn't matter. We'll make it work.
Very well said. Yeah, that's true. You know, it's interesting. A lot of psychology there with people being motivated more by something that's known as negative punishment rather than positive reinforcement there, kind of.
Right.
And that's a whole nother rabbit hole we could delve into on our next video blog together. But motivation, it seems like to be a common theme of what people intuitively kind of want, and they have to know that why. So you both really elaborated and brilliantly broke that down. Now, most of this first half of our video blog has been positive because it's been about motivation. Now, I have a question for both of you. I want you to think about this. If now that let's say the ideal client is motivated, they know their why, they're motivated, whether it's intrinsic or external, what have you, but they go through, and Nathan, you and I touched on this in our last chat, and now we'll further explore it. Now this client is going through some, I guess this would be kind of external problems of environmental things such as what we're going through right now. For example, gyms being closed, Omicron affecting everyone like a vengeance. It's a frenzy almost. And right now, as we're recording this, I'm on the other side. You can't see, I'm at a park. I have counted the number of people out here who are going for a walk and exercising and such. Every single person has a mask on outside. I haven't counted one person without a mask, and it's interesting. You know, you see this and this definite change and adjustment, you know, where gyms are no longer safe. Our industry certainly could be affected where, you know, I know both of you do virtual and remote training, which is a perfect alternative. But my question to you, now that we've presented all that, is the impact and adjustments that people have to change if their gym is closed, if they can't do face-to-face personal training like they want. For example, I have clients who won't do virtual training. That's not an option for them. They just don't want to for whatever reason. So that's a lot to soak in. Paula, I'm going to let you kind of attack that first. That, again, change, that adjustment that people have to work through, especially right now where we're at, and working out with a mask on, let's say, you know, that's another topic we can talk about. But all that said, how do you kind of address that, Paula? Like, you know, because again, I know you've been affected, everyone's been affected some way, both personally and professionally, but in the business world that we're in, how do you kind of explore that, Paula, with all that said?
I mean, people have to adapt. I mean, as much as you want to keep things as normal per se, as you want to. I mean, you gotta adapt. It's been 2 years already, right? 2 years of COVID. So it's kind of, I mean, it's the new normal, right? It's not 1 month that we're going through this craziness. So I mean, it gets to the point you can't keep postponing things for 2 years. So most important thing is to adapt. Of course, there are limitations, a lot of limitations. Especially, well, since we're talking about motivation, for example, a lot of people's motivation are, okay, I'm going to train for this tournament. I'm going to train for this race. I'm going to train for this Ironman, right? And surprise, that Ironman got canceled. Right. That tournament got canceled. So now you're kind of like up in the air, like, all right, what am I even training for if I don't know when I'm going to be able to race again? When am I going to be able to play again? So that's definitely something that COVID has done, that with motivation, that sometimes people don't even know what they're training for because they don't know when they'll be able to race again, for example. Again, some people are more immunocompromised, so they're not going to go into a gym because they don't want to run that risk or something, so that now they're risking to go or gyms, right? So people are adapting with needed, whether it's working from home or going more outdoors and changing a little bit your activity that you were I make weight off. No, I don't have the weight from the definitely, I think long run people are more aware now that, hey, even if I'm old now, I'm just gonna now, so I'm people. I think a lot of things change permanently. Some things just now. But yeah, I mean, it's all about adapting. So,
Yeah, that's good, Paula. One of the things that you had mentioned about the new normal, it is a new normal, and adjusting that. Nathan, again, back to you, kind of what Paula was going on there. It's kind of like you and I talked about the same thing there.
Yeah. I was having trouble hearing Paula. She broke up a lot. I don't know if that was on my end or hers. I couldn't hear a lot of it, but she's absolutely right. If you're training for an Ironman, it's not, a 4-week training program. I mean, you're going to train for a half a year or a year for that. And then, to set your sights on that, and then it fall through and you get canceled. A buddy of mine was supposed to be racing, I think this weekend or next weekend in South Carolina, and it got canceled right before.
Oh.
So
wow.
it's almost like, as an athlete, I mean, I went to the Olympic trials and I was a professional, did triathlon and stuff. And you live your life by the next competition, and it's the next competition, the next competition. And when you don't have that consistency in your life, like she said, you're very complacent. You don't know what to do. And it's very discouraging because you feel like you're on your game, you're ready, your mental toughness, you're there, everything's dialed in. And then all of a sudden, I'm sorry, it's not an injury, which is still bad. It's not anything. It's out of your control. And we, as athletes, as mentally tough as athletes are, we have very fragile egos sometimes, and it breaks you. It breaks you down. You're like, I don't know what to do. And because we can't control this, we can't control what other people are saying and how they're dictating how we live. It's hard to do that. You have to find some kind of normality, which the line for normal constantly changes, but you've got to find something. If you are immune compromised, or, if you're somebody that is not an athlete, you're just regular, you just want to lose weight, feel better, have some more energy and do some stuff, the best thing to do is get outside. Because there's so many things we get stuck in. Okay, working out is a fitness class, or we're doing the elliptical at the gym. That's not necessarily true. I mean, you can work out and do body weight exercises like Taryn, you're looking at the park. You could do exercises in the park. You could do them. It's just because we don't want to. We don't want to work out in our garage. We don't want to work out in our basement. I know plenty of people that have full-size gyms in their basements, and yet I would meet them at the gym, or they would come to my gym. What are you doing? You've got all the equipment at home. You paid for all the equipment. So you kind of have to figure out, and this is different for everybody, you have to figure out what's going to work for you, and then customize and create that plan with a coach that's best fit for you, and not, for everybody. And it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be different for everybody. And you have to stay, I know this sounds very cliche, and usually cliches are that because they're true. You have to just stay positive. And there's a lot that goes into that, but you control your mind. That's the one thing. You may not be able to control your first thought, but you can definitely control the second one. And then you can decide to go down that rabbit hole and take the blue pill, or you can decide to go down the other rabbit hole and take the red pill. So you have to kind of decide that. And it's a conscious choice that all of us make all day long, every single day. Am I going to, look at what I can control and focus on that, which I can control if I decide to go out and do push-ups, or sit on the couch and eat Twinkies and watch reruns of the Brady Bunch? I can control that. Can I go out and take a walk, or am I going to scroll Instagram for an hour, or TikTok for an hour and a half? I can control that. So forget about all the stuff that you can't control and focus on the few things that you can control. One, you're going to be more fulfilled. You're going to be happier. And two, you're going to start to see the results that you actually want to get out of your goals.
Wow. Yeah, that's excellent, Nathan. Again, just very much good alignment with Paula there on great examples, by the way, for both of y'all. You both are just doing a phenomenal job, like you always do, with just kind of breaking it down there. And so, you both touched on this. Back to you, Paula. Again, It is a new year, but yet some things are still kind of the same they've been in the last couple years with dealing, with the way things are. Paula, how's your outlook for this year for both yourself and the people you work with, as far as, do you have a good positive outlook that things will get better and will adjust, or do you foresee the opposite, that potentially it could even get, I don't know, more challenging from here for a lot of us? So how do you kind of see 2022?
I think it'll get better. I don't think we're gonna go back to 2020, because I think the most, I guess the worst part about 2020 was the unknown. No one knew what this COVID thing was. No one knew what could happen. No one knew anything
Good
about
point.
it. So that's why
True.
there weren't toilet papers in any supermarket, right? People didn't know how
I
to
remember
react.
that.
People were just preparing for
Yeah,
anything, right? Because
that's
they,
right.
they didn't know what was going on.
That's
So
right.
I think now, the more time it goes by, the more we know about it. So I think the fear we had at the beginning is not going to be the same. As many variants that can come up. I mean, I don't think we're going back to that unknown that we were before. So I think that's what crashed the markets, crashed everything, because that people didn't have a clue about what was going on. We didn't even know anything about masks. We hadn't worn masks before. I think anything from now on, just like Omicron just started. I mean, a little more than last year. So as scary as it can be, I think the fact of just having a name for this is good. So I think it'll get better, in my
Good.
opinion.
Yeah, hopefully you're right. Yeah, Nathan, same question. Kind of, what's the forecast for kind of both the known and the unknown for the rest of this year?
Yeah, I'm going with Paula. I think it's gonna get better. Like in 2020, I was deployed because I'm in the military. I was deployed for 9 weeks against COVID. Going in and decontaminating senior living facilities and doing the initial tests and stuff like that. So I got to see it from the crazy very first entry side. Now that we're 2 years into it, we kind of know. Depends on who you talk to, but you kind of know that if you have a comorbidity, you're going to be highly or more susceptible to getting COVID and having complications. So the main thing, and we talk about this as peak performance coaches, the main thing is the things that you can control, right? You can control what you eat, you can control what you watch, and you can control what you're doing in your actions and your movement. And some of the biggest things that are causing death with COVID are high blood pressure, hypertension, diabetes, obesity, and anxiety. We can control all of those. So what I think is, and what was kind of sad, to kind of go off on a side note, is CNN posted a report the other day about, oh well, it looks like that you're going to have more chance of complications with COVID if you're obese. Duh, we've been talking about this for the last years. Thanks CNN for jumping on board. But at the same time, I see an ad for Krispy Kreme saying get a whole box of donuts if you get the vaccine. So what are we doing? So you're going to give me 12 donuts to go get a vaccine for something that I can probably control myself if I have a good quality natural immune system, when I'm taking good vitamins, good supplements, I'm eating correctly, I'm exercising and working out all the time, I keep my weight low, my blood sugar's in check, I have low blood pressure. I mean, everything's good. That kind of stuff there is the stuff that will continue to keep the scarcity going and the scare tactics going. I think that if people stop unplug from the matrix and start thinking for themselves and start making choices not based on convenience and not based on being afraid, but actual logic, taking emotion out of your situation and thinking logically for a moment and saying, okay, I can control these things. I can control what I eat, I can control my emotion, and I can control what I think. So if you focus on those, I believe that people are going to start waking up and saying, I don't need to listen to other people. I can do this. There's people like Paula out there. There's people like Dr. T. There's people like me out there that can guide you through so that you can be the hero of your own life. And I really believe that 2022 is going to come change around.
Excellent. Well, again, on that note, I'll concur with both of you and agree that it's definitely a good positive forecast, and let's have a much better year for sure. And again, both of you, phenomenal job there, with kind of just breaking everything down. And I was watching the time very closely. I know that our time is up. I didn't want to hold you. So last quick question, I'll let you go, I promise. Let's start again, ladies first. Paula, it was a pleasure. I always like to wrap up and end with the best ways to find both of you. How do we get a hold of Paula and Nathan? Paula, I'll let you go, please. Anything you want to plug, your contact, social media, anything else? And let's do that, please, as we wrap up.
Absolutely, yeah. You can find me on Instagram at Paula Sports Psych. And yeah, I'll be posting some information and some good material.
Excellent. Very good. And Nathan, same question to you, please.
Awesome. Yeah, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook under Trinity Fitness. On Instagram, it's at Trinity Fitness Official. Nathan J. Nowak on Facebook and Trinity. You can also go to my website, 21daybodytransformationchallenge.com, and download our 15 keys to optimizing your nutrition program. And yeah, those are probably the best 2 ways to get me right now.
Perfect. Okay, Paula, Nathan, this was so much fun. This 30 minutes flew by so quick and fast. So I want to thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Yes, y'all are amazing. And once again, as we fade to black, I'm going to get both your contact information on the screen right now. And I wish both of you a healthy, happy New Year.
Thank you.
Same to you guys.